The world is at war. And when I say this, it sounds like I'm being exaggerative, that I'm exaggerating. The world is at war. This is not about the Middle East. This is about something else. The world is at war. And what is the most unbelievable is how little folks understand about the history, the geography, what this even means. There's just this reaction with, per usual, people saying, I don't know anything about this. Who are the good guys? Who are the good guys? Who? Let me ask you right off the bat, who are the good guys? Better yet, who are the guys? What are you talking about? Who's involved with this? What is this even about? Anybody? Does anybody know? Could anybody tell me? Who are the bad guys involved? Who are the people involved? This is the part that's the most critical. I mean, we could talk all day long about everything. Everything is pretty simple, isn't it? We got to know who the good guys and the bad guys are. Saddam, right? Even when we got into Afghanistan, I realized I don't think Americans really dig this. I don't think they're really understanding this. I think they expect there to be uniforms or something. What is Gaza? What is it? Who owns it? Who runs it? Who's in charge? Why are we arguing about this strip of land? It's theirs. Israel gave it back to whomever, Fatah, I guess, the Palestinian Authority, in 2005. Sharon they yelled at him. This evil, they go, what are you doing? They said, no, we're going to give it back. There was an article I posted in 80, no, 80, I forgot. I forget, 88 maybe. They said that Gaza could be the Singapore of the Middle East. So in 2005, they said, okay, it's yours. Who ran it? Fatah. Who kicked Fatah out? Hamas. Since 2005. Okay, got 18 years. Where's the infrastructure? Where's the money? Where's the development? Where is it? What's happening? Who's in charge? Who? This is you've got they even said the reason why Gaza is so important is that the chance for infrastructure and building of buildings and fine. Go ahead. What do you want? Where are the countless billions and billions of dollars of resource all over the world focused and pouring into Gaza to build up schools and universities and infrastructure and traffic lights and all this stuff? Where is it? The first thing they did, what Hamas did, was they came in, they threw Fatah out, threw them off of buildings. They said, guess what? We're in charge. And that became the launching platform against Israel. Now, you can either believe that or not believe that or conflate it into some settlement, West Bank. There's this amorphous group of people out there who have no idea of who these people are. They think there's some one unified Palestinian group that represents all of Palestine. This is incredible. Nathan Leland says, I took my junior year at Haifa University. I am a Lutheran born and raised in Zeeland, Denmark, until we moved to the U.S. when I was 8. Those children being held by Hamas. We are so blessed to be safe. Haifa is one of the most beautiful places. That is the site of the, I believe, Daniel, and by the way, thank you, sir. Haifa, it was the Baha'i, like the Vatican, so to speak, of the Baha'i faith. Beautiful. Now let's go through this. And here's the part. By the way, did you see the Harvard students? Did I read correctly? Are they spelling Palestine with a Z? Is this a misspelling? Is this something cool? Did I miss this? I don't know. I'm always trying to figure out who is what. Do you think there is a unified, solid group of folks running the show? When you mention people like Islamic Jihad, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, the Palestinian Authority, the Al-Aqsa Brigade, Fatah years ago, this is Arafat. Do people recognize how this is working? Do people see this? Do you understand how not only how complex it is, but how we have organ structure, organ failure, I should say? I want to spend a little time with this. The first thing in the morning, I was watching this. Oh my God, I put it on. They've got these morons on Fox News. They got people talking like this. Hey, this is Buddy, whoever these people are. Do you know why the Israel Defense and Security were caught off guard? If you ask that question one more time, ask it in a different way. What did they hand you this question? You've got morons understanding this. I want to just give you this example. Please. There is this fascinating story I've never forget. A friend of mine, medical school professor. I said, is cancer, he's an oncologist, is cancer genetic, environmental? Is it predisposition? What is it? Is cancer boom, 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 boom? The answer was yes. There is no one kind of cancer. It depends where the cancer is. It depends. It's complicated. Some cancers you can take care of. Some are extremely metastatic and absolutely aggressive. Others are not. It depends. You can't call it cancer. To call it cancer is to completely miss the complexity of what we're talking about here. Now, let me explain to you. Here is the thing. You've got some groups who say, we never want peace with Israel. There are some factions and some factions within factions who say, we are hardcore until the end. And by the way, there are factions within Israel who are extremely bellicose, who have to be counterbalanced. You know, people always think that Israel is this unified. You've got the religious groups, you've got the secular. It's mostly a secular country. One could call it socialist. I know people who were freaked out by the religious. I remember the people say, oh my God, we got, this, because people think of Israel as being just this, yes, the Jewish state, but that there's this unanimity in terms of the role of Judaism into the inner workings of the government, that somehow Hebraic sensibilities are part and parcel of the country's theory and composition. And that's not true. Then you get into this notion of Zionism. And the word, I can't say this enough, Zionism. Once a word elevates itself, do you know what that means? Do you know almost the irrelevance at this point? Do you think this is about Zionism? Do you think we're arguing about that? Do you think Hamas is worried about Zionism? And then there are these contingents of people. Remember, everybody wants to be cool. Look at these kids at Harvard, because they're Harvard, because you're going to listen to them, because you think they know what they're talking about, because it's Harvard, because you believe in this name brand crap that they've been shoving down your throats for years, that a 20-year-old at Harvard somehow is smarter than you or another 20-year-old. You believe this. And there's always been this sense, this weirdness about what happens when you go to universities. Remember when people at the time took over the president's office at Columbia? Why? Because they can. Because being a 20-year-old sometime, part of the deal is being a class A-hole, a huge gaping cloaca. Basically you're just this idiot. You're this idiot who thinks you know everything. And that's why those people are brought in to fight. Did you see all the Hamas fighters? They're what are they, 18, 19, younger? That's who you want to get. Because they're young, they're strong, and they're stupid. And they think they know everything. That's the part about being 18 or 19. You think you know everything. You are an obnoxious wart on society. You don't know anything. Your ignorance is mean, is huge. You have no worldview. And because you're stuck at an institution that basically sold out to woke, radical left lunatics who actually worry about pronouns and weird transmutations of gender assignment, these idiots are trying to explain to you, geopolitical policy. Now, there are other people who say, and you've got to understand this, recognize this. There are people who say, I am from here, whatever it is, Riyadh, Ramallah, well, fine. I'm from the West Bank, I'm from Jerusalem, and I hate those people. Okay. No, you don't understand. I hate those people. I was raised hating those people. This is Jews, Palestinians, whatever you want. People do this. I hate those people. There were people who were born in apartheid. The Hindus hate the Pakistanis and the Muslims. And Israel, oh my God, you got Indian fractures. You've got Basque. But the world, this place is filled with these people. North Korea, South Korea, China, Uyghurs, Falun Gong, go down the list. North Vietnamese, South Vietnamese, NVA, Viet Cong. The North here, the South, the West, the Upper West Side, the Lower East Side, you name it. Our basic human tendency is to hate you because of your skin, hate you because of your sex. You're fat, you're not. You've got tattoos, you don't. You're a man, you're a woman, you're a they. You talk funny, you're handicapped, you're handicapable. You can see, you can't see. You're a four eyes, you're this. We hate everybody. Catholics hate Protestants. Protestants hate Catholics. Baptists hate Lutherans. Lutherans hate Presbyterians. Everybody hates everybody. It's who we are. Don't believe this crap about we are the world and everything is beautiful. That's crap. We live in a world in a constant state of hate. And the only thing that we have is, thank God, the diversion of social media so that these children will be too busy and too sidetracked to hate anybody because they're lazy. And then there are people who don't understand the reality of this. Let me give you a Golda Meir quote. This is the best one. And it's something, let me get the exact quote. And people go nuts with this. They go nuts. Okay? Listen to this. It says, if Arabs put down their weapons today, there would be no more violence. If the Jews put down their weapons today, there would be no more Israel. If the Arabs put down their weapons today, there would be no more violence. If the Jews put down their weapons today, there would be no more Israel. And I put this up and I know this. And I know this. This is the thing. This is the thing which is, and you read the reactions. Oh God, you read the reactions. There are so many people that I want to, especially in this world of ours, these phony baloney, these conservative types. You have no idea how I despise them. I understand the left does what they do because they're the left. I get it. But you should see what they do on the right. You should see these people on the right. Because there's this new group of people that they're I don't want to say, they're kind of like the conspiracist right who think it's cool. They just hate anything Israel. And they have no idea. They talk about this stuff about freedom fighters and this weird kind of a Gadsden flag, this amorphous Thomas Jefferson stuff, but they don't understand. They have this idea that they hate Israel. I said, do you want to talk about Hamas? They don't recognize it. There is a balance. You do understand this, right? They have no clue. Our dear friend, one of the oldest friends of the show, Eric Thaddeus Walters writes, American undergrad students this morning had no idea of weekend in the Levant. Usual European weekend travel, like taking a pill in Ibiza. What percentage of Americans are informed and engaged in your estimation? Informed, 10%. Engaged, less than. I don't even know. How many, Eric? If you say Levant, you think they're talking about Oscar Levant? I'm Levant. I'm dating myself. Remember, Eric, when ISIS went to ISIL, Islamic State, Israel, they threw in the Levant. Remember, because of the people, ISIS was Islamic State. The Islamic State, ISIL, Daesh, Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, Islamic State, Iraq and Syria. They Daesh. I mean, there were these weird. Remember this, Eric? There were these gradations. Some called it the Levant because they didn't want to include. And thank you, by the way, sir. They didn't want to include the designation of Israel. I mean, we're talking about. We are talking. I had a friend of mine who was in a military. Oh my God, this was in the 90s, maybe early 90s. I don't know. There was he was in the army, some joint operation, and they had somebody from, I forget what it was, Syria. They had a map, and they had Israel wasn't even on the map. They were talking about see, we don't understand this. We don't grasp this. You can't grasp this. What is it? What is the role of Iran? They get their $6 billion. Did you hear, who was it? Blinken said not one penny of the monies that were released, that were made available, that were unfrozen to Iran, not one penny went to this. What are you talking about? What in the name of God are you even remotely talking about? I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to even explain this to people. What do you mean? Silver Fox writes, sounds like the gangs in prison, Aryans, blacks, Mexicans, Nuestra, are all microcosms of what's going on in the world today. Birds of a feather. Thank you, sir. Well, but not only a microcosm, it is what's happening today. It is what's happening today. There are people who say, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. First and foremost, what is the goal? Let's separate. What is Israel's goal and what is everybody else's goal, so to speak? Barry Taylor says, ultimately, viewing the situation through a lens of compassion and a desire for peaceful coexistence is important. It's also non-existent. It's also not. Thank you, Barry. It's like looking at the body through the lens of healing. The body wants and seeks healing. The body looks and tries to see and tries to enjoy a certain sense of homeostasis. The body, wait a minute, he's got cancer. No, you don't understand. There's a homeostatic balance of he's got cancer. No, the mind is. Barry. I'm not picking on you, but I'm saying you're right about this. One group of what does Israel want? Answer this question. Does it want to destroy its neighbors? What does it want? When you're talking about land, does it want all the land it can rationally have? Yes. Do we want it? Yes. Does everybody want it? Yes, to an extent. We're talking about, do you see what we're talking about? Do you see? I'm trying to. This is. I do this all the time. I say, where in the hell is? Oh my god! I can't even see. I can't even find it. I can't even see Israel on this. I can't even see it. You can fly over and you see Mediterranean, Jordan. Hey, it's right there. Do you know how small this is? Do you know what we're talking? That doesn't change anything. What is it? What's there? Is there oil there? No. I think there was some gas reserves years ago. What are we talking about? This strip of land has been a disaster since the beginning. Start with that one. John McGuire says, by the way, Super Chat is not letting me use the name of the nation starting with an I. Well, okay. I don't know what to tell you. Then use another version of it. Maybe an asterisk. I don't understand this. I don't understand what appears to be ostensible censorship from any place. I don't understand this. I told you before about what is realism. And thank you, John. What is realism? What is realism? I want to explain something to you. I'm an American citizen. I don't live in Israel. I wish them peace. I want peace in the Palestinian in the West Bank. I want peace everywhere. That's what I want. I don't live there. I don't live there. I want everything in my power to help things. I don't live there. If Israel or Jordan or Egypt decides to close up shop, move, sorry, I don't live there. It's not my concern. Sorry. Nathan Leland says, where do we draw the line between a people's legitimate and legitimate land claims? Oh, irredentism. You spoke about the fact that the globalists are pulling us toward a borderless world, yet such tensions continue. Yes. Revanchism, irredentism. This is a policy of advocating the restoration to a country of any territory formerly belonging to it. Then we get into this revanchism, a policy of seeking to retaliate, especially to recover lost territory. Revanchism, there's these words, these concepts that are alien to us because we don't have lands we're trying to get. Please, Daniel, you bring up a very good point. Do you expect me to make you ever understand the idea? Hutsis and Tutsis and Rwanda. Do you ever expect me, the genocide, to explain Tutsis and these horrible? Do you explain that, to explain genocide or Cambodia or Khmer Rouge or Pol Pot, the Holocaust? Do you think there ever do you think it even remotely possible for you to understand to the point where you agree, or do you want to just understand it? I just understand it. I don't agree with it. That's why I've been studying for most of my life serial killers, because it starts with that. What are you doing? Why are you propelled by this? I don't understand this. I don't know what it's like to say, well, I sort of do. We hated, not only did we, portions of us, not all of us, but portions of us, not only did a bunch of us not only dislike black people, we despised them to the point where we were, for lack of a better word, where we were, I don't even know the word. I don't even know the words. Hanged, beat, Emmett Till, the Mississippi, the Philadelphia, Mississippi, the Schwimmer and the civil rights workers and Martin Luther King and I don't know what the hell was that about. I don't understand. I'm never going to be able to explain this to you. I'm never going to be able. Oh, I see. Okay. We're inhuman, and because some of us don't share that particular idea, others, look, Israel's not moving anywhere. And what people will not tell you is there are some folks who say, we love Israel. Because if it wasn't for Israel, we wouldn't have instability there. Most people couldn't care less. Do you think, seriously, honestly, any country ever, if Israel said, look, we're going to make a deal with you, we will pay you whatever it is, they would say, all right, everybody, that's enough, cut it out. Do you think Iran, do you think this theocratic, this warfare is about God or who's God or Bible? Do you really think that that's the essence of it, or that's what you tell people? It's about money. It's about power. It's about land. It's not about that. But it doesn't matter. When you're at the upper tiers, the upper level, you're in this system that says, okay, it's about turf, it's about battle, and it's about money. Here is the questions. Where is the money that went? Why is Gaza? Why are Palestinian areas? Why are they so bereft? 20,000 people were allowed into Israel to work and back and forth. Remember, they gave this in 2005. They said, here, it's yours. Take it. Egypt had it before. Now it's yours. Take it. What do you want? What do you want? It is a mess. It's like me handing you a Gordian knot and saying, figure this out. I know people who talk about Israel and they say, well, what do you want them to do? They can't answer the question. Well, what do you want them to do? Remember something. If you have a war where you cannot name the result, forget it. Let me go back to this and let me explain this. I'm telling you, I'm a realist. Israel, wonderful people. I don't live there. That's not my country. That doesn't mean I don't care. I don't live there. I don't live in Jordan. I don't live in Egypt. I don't live in France. I want there to be peace. That's their problem. That doesn't mean I don't care. That's their problem. I've got problems here. Nobody's helping me with my country. Yesterday, when there were battles and there were all types of fractious uprisings at or near Times Square, I wasn't going to go near that. Why? Because somebody's going to get a gun and somebody's going to do something stupid. And then all hell breaks loose. And that's what they want. Complete and total annihilation. And I mean of order and the like. And we don't have a police department. We've got people walking around here. I'm sorry, but what the New York City police that you used to know, I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's going on with this, but they don't do anything for me. people, defund this, people retiring. So I'm worried about my country. I'm worried about people here, the fact that we've got crime, that we don't have an education system, that our borders are being. So excuse me, Israel, Palestine, Gaza, Egypt, that's your problem. I wish you nothing but the best. Cut this out. Stop it. I'm an American. They don't care about my country. They're not coming over here helping me. And I don't blame them. I'm not their control. So understand what this is about. My interest is what happens geopolitically. The Yom Kippur War had no effect on my life directly. It did theoretically. And please don't take that the wrong way. It's nothing to do with it. Say the Vietnam War has something to do with me. That's it. Edie Crowley said an insect could even have been detected. An insect could even have been detected, much less people. Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out what that means, but that's okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Fine. In any event, but thank you for that. Maybe I'm a little slow in the uptake today. Now, here's the bottom line. What does this affect you? What do you want? How does this affect you? This is going to go on. You know, and I know that right now they are telling Israel Netanyahu, go in and just make these people pay. Right? Right? I'm not advocating it. I'm telling you. This is what they're being told. Make these people pay. That's exactly what's being said right now. Moorman says, is it possible Mossad is now a political organization like our intel agencies? Fed sure did a cracker job prior to the Boston fiasco. We were even warned about the perp by our most dangerous enemy. Yes. Well, Moorman, first of all, thank you. Let's look at your question. Is it possible? Yes. 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 That first answer, yes, everything's possible. Next, Mossad, put Mossad aside. Amman. This is the group people always forget. This is the military intel. This is a group of people. This is the what is there? The Israel military intelligence, often abbreviated to Amman, is the this is the group. They're not talked about. They don't have the same PR organization that others do. Is it possible? Yes. Is intelligence, thank you for that, Mormon. Is intelligence politicized? Yes. 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 Do I always suspect whenever something happens? Remember, lie hop, my hop. Let it happen on purpose. Make it happen on purpose. The whole notion since the beginning of false flags, agent provocateur, what is it that we're trying to win today? We're trying to win the information spectrum, social media. Again, I have this idea. We're sitting at a table and I have an overturned shot glass. And every time I have, okay, here's one thing. Boom, Intel. What does Intel do? What is the role of Intel? To provide intelligence. Yes. Does it stay within its lanes? No. Does it ever work with other agencies? Yes. Does it ever work with other? Yes. Is that what Intel does? Yes. Is this a propaganda war? Yes. It's about information. It's about data. It's about belief. It's about everything. It's not just about your just getting information and data and the like, okay? The smaller the group, the easier it is to get. There are people who are right there. They went into Hamas. They went from Gaza, grabbed Israelis and dragged them back. after Israel left in 2005. Don't you know the irony of that one? That's the part that gets me. That's the part. You wanted it, now you've got it. What do you want now? Now, as long as, by the way, remember, two groups of people, another shot glass on the table. Let me tell you what the other, you talk about Palestine, Palestinian, Israel, just throw out words. Israel, West Bank, settlement, apartheid, just throw this out. Throw it out. Even though they're saying that has something to do with this. Well, it does, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Confuse them. Make it a very amorphous issue. Make it a very, 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 make things simple. Don't complicate it. Rule number one, the Civil War, it was about slavery, right? No. Of course, it was about slavery. That's not it. What was Vietnam about? Communism? You see? The world hates nuance. We hate complicated. We love very simple things. Give it a very simple thought, a very simple thing. What is it? What is it about? It's about other things. So just call it. Next, when you're anti-Israel, when you own the media, that's the best part. Well, the Jews own the media. Really? They're not doing it okay. All right. And they own the banks. Right now I would say, hey, don't pin that on me. Somebody actually said, Sam Bankman-Fried. What? This is how stupid people are. People are still, remember this, people are still talking about Israel in terms of 9/11 because of Larry Silverstein. That's it. The name. That's it. The dancing Israelis. That's it. See? That's the connection. That's the connection. That's the connection. Keep it very simple. So you've got a bunch of people right now, especially, did you check out the Harvard picture where they're smiling? Look at us. We're standing in front. We've got our homemade signs. And hey, mommy, what's this? Oh, this is when I was in Harvard. This is when I was in, mommy was an activist. What was this about? God, that was that Gaza thing. I don't know. It was some Israel, but Israel. Yeah. Israel bad. Yeah. That's it. Israel bad. Israel bad. Israel bad. Simple. Manichaean, apodictic, Israel bad. And so interesting is if you pull people over, excuse me, I noticed that you have this. Tell me what it is specifically that you have a problem with regarding Israel. What is it? Have you ever heard somebody who talks against Hamas? Yes. Why? Listen to what they say. Well, Hamas kidnapped him. Okay. Other than that, where are the Hamas spokesmen? I heard a Hamas spokesman on BBC or something. Where is it? I don't know. How about Rashida Tlaib? How about all these folks? How about all the, quote, anti-defamation folks going after regular Americans who may say things that are contrary to opinions people like? If this isn't anti-Semitism, as you would define it, I don't know what is. Go after them. What do you do? What do you need? Seriously. And Rashida Tlaib, by the way, and Ilhan Omar, they are able to say whatever they want. Let me explain something to you. Let me make this very, very clear. We do not throw away the First Amendment just because we don't like what somebody's saying. And there's a whole hell of a lot that you can talk about as far as what Israel has done that you disagree with. Not now. What did they do? The question is simply this. It's just very simple. Did Israel ask for it? Yes or no? If you think it did, okay, there you go. They had it coming. Really? Those people who were lined up, did you see lined up in plastic bags? Did you see this? The woman who was grabbed by the hair and thrown into the back of a bloodied, did she have it coming? Did she do that? The children, the older people? And you're going to say, well, Israel did it too. Okay. Is that it? Is that it? It's okay because Palestinians died? What is it? They don't know what they don't know what their argument is. That woman who most probably was sexually battered, the woman who also was found was dead, paraded about nude in the back of a truck. Do you think that was did you have that coming? Is that what you're saying? Barry Taylor says, what happened to the Camp David Accords and the Oslo Accords? What happened to the Abraham Accords? You do understand that we're talking with countries versus this. You do understand that, right? Now, here's the worst part. Here's the worst part of them all. There's no end to this. There's no end. There's no end. It just kind of slows down. There's no end. There's no conclusion. There's no satisfaction. Nobody makes any money if everybody's happy. If you make a deal with Israel, okay, that's it. Because right before this, remember what happened was MBS. What's he doing? Oh, that's going to be fascinating. Mohammed bin Salman. Watch him become the peacemaker. Watch him say, all right, that's enough. You think Jordan's going to do that? You think Hussein's going to do it? Nah. Israel? I mean, not Israel. Egypt? No. Who's in charge? Who? What? Who? What is the? There is no. In the old days, we had actual players and people, and Assad and Syria, the strongmen. What's going to happen now? We can't even explain this to folks. So the bottom line is, what's something going to do? What would you do? And here's what you do today. All you have to do when you talk to your friends, hey, what do you think about that? And you realize they don't know what they're talking about. They just see terrible things. What do you think? What do you think? Let me explain something to you. Let me see if I can explain this. Imagine if China were sponsoring and funding and arming the Klan or MS-13 or some group within our country. They were, and all of a sudden we saw MS-13 or others employ a series of weapons that are not in any way their usual arsenal. Something really powerful, big. Okay? You got that? Okay. What do you think, and this is important, what do you think would be our reaction if we said, China, what are you doing? Because let me also tell you something. And I've been hearing this for the longest time. And these are people that I know who are kind of very informed. I'm not going to say who they are. But do not be surprised if there are sleeper cells, these groups of people who come in, kind of situate themselves in our land and sit back and they wait. By the way, I need 700 likes. 700 likes. That's critical. That's critical. Critical. Absolutely critical. I need 700 likes. Okay? Period. Got it? Capiche? It means everything to us. This is how our message gets out. And a lot of people, how do I say this, don't like our message. You know why, right? You know why? Because I can't stand both sides. There is the two factions that represent the groups of people that can't stomach them. Okay? Very quickly, while we're at the subject, I must say this to you, and it's also important that you recognize this. Do you see how everywhere in Israel, whatever they speak, they're in their safe room, they're in their safe house, they're in their basement, they're in their shelter, they have their food, they have their water, they have their air, we are not there yet, thank God, where we don't have safe rooms required yet, but they have them. And they are ready to go in the event of long periods of time when stores are destroyed, when food is unavailable, when food cannot be secured. They are ready. They know all about this. Every single Israeli, and I would venture people who just live in the area, Israeli or not, know this. We have been lucky. We have been lucky. We have never had this. Right now, there is a 25% deal, which is so important, 25% off a 3-month emergency food kit. If you go to preparewithlionel.com, the link is here. I'm saying it, preparewithlionel.com. This is something that I cannot put into words. I can't explain to you how these folks, how do I say this? They live in this world where they think, they would say to you, you mean you don't have this? You don't have this? You don't have this? You don't have prepared food? You don't have emergency food? You don't have, they would look at you like you're nuts. What are you talking about? Well, we're not Israel. Yeah, but you've got national disasters, you got floods, you got weather, you got this, you have maybe you've got some kind of inclement, whatever it is. Do you not understand that? Do you not? This is how lucky we are. This is the part where I it's nice that we're naive. But this is available. 25%, save 25% off a 3-month emergency food kit. This is critical stuff. By going to preparewithlionel.com. 25-year shelf life, 21 varieties. Look at it, read this. That's the thing. We're so lucky, but we're being told, look, we may not have Hamas coming over the border, but you're going to need this. This makes sense. I don't understand. We're just watching this. We're not learning. Especially now. Now's your entree. 25% of a 3-month emergency food kit. Preparewithlionel.com. Do it now, my friends. So let me ask you this, my dear, incredible, smart friends. I have just appointed you. Right now. Okay, you got this? I have just appointed you to be I'm the president. I'm Lionel of the United States, or Lenny, as somebody called me one time. And I'm in charge, and I appoint you. What's the first thing you do? Do you say, you know, it's none of our business? Forget it. There's no, don't even bother with this. This is the way it's going to be forever and ever and ever. You're not going to. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? I'll tell you what the first thing you do is. Number one, ready for this? First thing. Do we understand this? Do we really? Do you understand how this thing works? Do you know who the players are? You understand who they are? Do you? Do you really get it? Okay. Do you understand this? Do you want to get involved in this? No. What is our purpose? What is our penchant? And this is the $1 million question. What has Iran ever done for us? Why do we want to unfreeze just explain that one to me? I'm ignorant. Tell me, what has Iran done? What do we care about Iran for? I'm serious. Tell me how they work in the equation. Tell me how they work. Tell me what they've done. Now, remember, the Persian people, beautiful people. Let us always remove the people from the equation. The people, Iranian people, elegant, wonderful people. People, they love us. They love us. Look at what there was a chance for us to win their hearts. They loved American fashion and music and culture. After 9/11, there were candlelight vigils in Tehran. I can't pronounce it the cool way, but Tehran. That's all gone now. They said, no. So the people are over here. What do we do with the country? What do we do with the theocracy? What is it that they want? They want the same thing we want. This is about this thing called what Mearsheimer talks about, this notion about offensive realism. The basic structure of the international system forces states concerned about their security to compete with each other for power. The ultimate goal of every great power is to maximize its share of world power and eventually dominate the system. In practical terms, Mearsheimer says, this means that the most powerful states seek to establish hegemony in their region of the world while also ensuring that no rival great power dominates another area. This is realism. The theory begins with 5 assumptions about the world, which are all reasonable approximations of reality. This is Mearsheimer. First of all, states are the key actors in international politics, and no higher authority stands above them. This is basically anarchy, meaning there is no one above them. There's nobody. It's not what you think. No one can tell them what to do. Okay? States are key actors in an international politics, and no higher authority stands above them. There is no ultimate arbiter or leviathan in the system that states can turn to if they get into trouble and need help. This is called an anarchic system as opposed to a hierarchic system. They're at the top. And if there's nobody to help them, they've got to be powerful. The next 2 assumptions, he writes, deal with capabilities and intentions. All states have offensive military capabilities, although some have more than others, indeed, sometimes many more than others. Capabilities are reasonably easy to measure because they are largely composed of material objects that can be seen, assessed, and counted. Intentions are a different matter. States can never be certain about the intentions of other states because intentions are inside the heads of leaders and thus virtually impossible to see and difficult to measure. In particular, states that can never know with complete confidence whether another state might have its gun sights on them for one reason or another. This is the notion of realism. This is what Mearsheimer and others say. Take all of your usual stuff and your bravado and screaming and yelling and throw it to the side. Ask yourself, what is it that really happened? How do we fix this? Who are the people involved? I'm not going to tamp down hate. I'm not going to tamp down. I don't know how to do this. That takes generations. The virulent racists, the Klan, those horrible people in the 40s, 50s, 60s that were eventually just that, we don't see them anymore. They're racist or there's a pocket here and there, but not like, the Grand Knights, with these cross burnings and, we don't have that now. That took a long time. Was that done by any particular governmental platform? No. That was done by other reasons, So that's it. How do I take these folks, these young people? Do you think they're primitive? When you see them driving through these rather kind of desolate looking streets, driving Toyota trucks, and boy, that Toyota gets a hell of an ad, don't you? Those white Toyota trucks, they must sell those things. But do you think these people are, let me ask you, do you think they are unsophisticated? Do you? Do you think they are foolish? What words do you use? Those young people screaming and yelling. How are we going to fix it? Can't fix that. That's the subject. That's the hardest. Because as long as there's social media, forget it. As long as there's TikTok, we can't get to that. What about Iran? What about Hamas? What about these groups of people? What about Islamic Jihad? Look, Hezbollah. How does all this work? How does all this play? What do they want? Money, power, hegemony. They want this. What do we do with a theocracy? Eat it. Get used to it. That's the way it is. Can't fix it. You see, Americans look at these people like they're backwards. Those kids I was telling you about in these streets of driving around, they are just like you. If you sat down with them, your young son or daughter could get along with them famously. They're exactly the same. And the reason why your son and daughter is not involved in this is because they have been living fat and happy for the longest time. They sit back on their fat arse, playing with their games, not doing anything. They have no interest in anything. But if they live there, it'll be a different story. Because Americans have never been threatened. We've never been threatened. We've never been in the position where we are place. We are put in a world of, we are not in a world that is threatened by anyone, we don't know how to handle this. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense? We don't know how to handle things like this. We don't recognize this. We also sit back and we get into these factions. We have these phony conservatives who pledge some kind of fealty or allegiance to Israel, and they don't know why. They can't really explain it. They will say the following: Israel's the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel's got our back. Israel's fine. It's true. Good. But that's it. They don't know. The same way all of a sudden they're in the Second Amendment. The same reason why they wave flags. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. This is this bankrupt right wing, the Fox News crowd. They're great at sloganeering, but do they really understand something? Do they really think you're going to do it? Do you understand? Let me ask you a question. Here's a simple question. And I want a yes or no question. Do you think that people in Hamas or Hezbollah or Iran or Palestinian Authority types or whatever it is, do you think they're crazy? Do you think they're crazy, unreasonable, and demented? Do you think they're uneducated, backwards, and that by hating Israel, this is evidence, some indicium of their own mental illness? Do you think that? Do you think that? Anybody? Yes or no? Do you? During the Second World War, did you think the Germans were crazy? Do you think the Japanese are crazy? I mean, the whole country is crazy. Do they have a point? If they sat down and explained this to you, do they? Do you? Someone says misguided. You think they're misguided? Talk to them. What would you clear them up about? What would you say? What would you tell them to clear them up? See, the moment and this goes back, I'm a realist. The moment you think you're dealing with mental illness, you've lost the game. You've lost it completely. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You've lost it. The moment you start describing the reason why 9/11 was they hate our freedom. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? The moment you do this, why do you think they do this? We do it sometimes. They're evil. Do you think that serial killers are evil? Is that what motivates them, being evil? Or do they say, you don't understand something? I have this addiction to taking the life of somebody else, to completely overpowering people, complete strangers, because of psychosexual, violent predispositions and tendencies that I have. I'm not evil. I go to work. I have friends of mine. I'm married. I've got good. People will swear I'm the greatest guy in the world. I don't go on and always tease out. No, because we always simplify it. Oh, it's Satan. Remember that, Reagan? It's the great Satan. Stop with this Satan. Satan is the biggest. I don't know what Satan's about, where that came from, but that just makes it real simple. What do you think these people want? And is there anything that you're going to be able to say that will satisfy them? No. It comes down to simply this. Either I give you something to kind of make you back down. Number two, I obliterate you, which ain't going to happen, which is going to make matters worse. Or we hope that maybe the second, third, fourth generation gets over this nonsense. I don't know what it is. But if you think I'm going to, by pointing fingers, what do you want? Israel, they went nuts. They said, what are you doing? What do you want to leave? You want to give them Gaza? You're going to regret this. No. See, other people have said and believe. They believe. First of all, they don't understand about this was Israel here. This was Lebanon here. This was a war. No, and in 767 it was this, and then 73. We don't know what that means. We don't know what that means. And I also want you to understand something. You wonderful, beautiful, great Christian people. Imagine if you were told everywhere, get out. Get out. Nobody wants to ever deal with this stuff. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to understand or address this notion of historic anti-Semitism, the likes of which you cannot believe, both in terms of religion, politics, literature, you name it. Barry Taylor says, we all realize that achieving a resolution will require a sustained commitment and a desire for peace from all stakeholders. But who are they? Interesting. That's a good question. Albania Hernandez, thank you so much, Albania. Thank you so much for this. Let's go through this. This is very interesting. A sustained commitment and a desire for peace. Okay. Stop right there. Let's talk with Hamas. Do you want peace? Yes. Israel, do you want peace? Of course. All right, Hamas. What kind of peace do you want? I want Israel to say, well, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Well, we're going to fight for what's ours. No. What about your peace? Well, wait a minute. Our violence is not unprovoked. Don't put us in the same category as Israel. They're the aggressor. Israel says, now, wait a minute. You came into our country. You kidnapped. Yeah, but you provoked it. You started this. We started this because of, and then they go back. This is back and forth. This is what happens. This is where we are right now. What do you want? What would you tell those Harvard students? What do you want? I want you gone. Well, that's not going to happen. Well, what do you want? Well, I want this back. That's not going to happen. Well, there's always going to be more. Meanwhile, the people, you know what I would love to always be? If I'm the unscrupulous side, I want to be the guy who's always in charge of the peace. Because I got the money and I got the control and I can make billions. If I give these people the word, if I tell them what to do, I make billions. Nobody ever wants to talk about how much money Arafat made. Nobody ever had any idea. Now, let me also tell you, get ready for this. Israel is going to have to do two things. Number one, this is a government now. It has to address its enemies and address its citizens. And I'm telling you right now, read and listen to what they are saying in that country. Because when all is said and done, you might think, well, they're very decisive, they're very fractious, and it's true. There are people who hate Bibi, hate him. Got it? Remember Lieberman, Avigdor, whatever. When Zippy Livni was doing, they have consensus in the Knesset. It's a mess. They do this. I don't understand the first thing about. And by the way, I'll tell you who would love all this stuff. I guess is because maybe I don't know how, but maybe I don't know if the word is. Maybe somebody figures that. What am I trying to say? I keep thinking of Jim Jordan. They love to wear, in the Knesset, they don't wear jackets and they don't wear ties. They're just open shirts. Jim Jordan would love that, aside from this. But going back to what I'm saying, don't ever think for a moment that people in Israel say, okay, we may not like them, but get these people. Let them have it. Because when you see that picture, you want, and let me also tell you something. There's a lot of people who would tell you, look, we may not like this personally, but we got to make sure you understand something. The only way you're going to win, ultimately, is to scare the hell out of your opponent. The only way you're going to win. And there's nothing. See, this is the impasse. It's like you're an oncologist. You're looking at this cancer, and you're saying it just grows, and it's not evil. It just does these things. So let's stop for 1 second right now and think. Let us regroup. First, let me thank Daniel Nathan Leland, our dear friend Eric Thaddeus Walters, Silver Fox, Barry Taylor, John McGuire couldn't get higher, Edie Crowley, Mower Man, Barry Taylor, I said Barry Taylor, Albania Hernandez. Thank you. Hernandez. There's a good little theta at the end. Don't forget, my friends, my Patriot Supply. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Again, remember what I'm telling you. If you talk to folks from Israel right now, they will say, you don't have emergency food? See, and we're lucky that it sounds kind of like an extravagance. And one more thing, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that My Pillow is still here, my friends. You can use a promo code Lionel and receive a free gift by going to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or mypillow.com/Lionel. Use it. Enjoy the incredible savings, the sales, the Giza, everything, the pillows, the slippers, everything, and help yourself to incredible savings and incredible products. That's it. Let me say, my friends, I cannot thank you enough for being with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. And also understanding, I hope you understand that what I find so fascinating is the complexity of the matter, the absolute complexity. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for watching. Be careful, be safe. If you pray, pray a lot. And by the way, this is one part of the world. The world is on fire. The world is at war. This is not just Israel. Don't think this is the Middle East. This is everywhere. And we'll talk tonight more about how I fear about sleeper cells in this country. And I'm not saying that because I'm just wildly thinking about this. I've had some very important people tell me that's their fear as well. In any event, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget our words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.